So around eighth, seventh or eighth grade, I noticed that things around me didn't look real. I felt like I was constantly looking through a screen, like a clear screen, and there was always something between me and my reality and what was in front of me. And I didn't really know what I was experiencing until middle of high school, I think, when a friend of mine I'd been speaking to them about this experience, and she mentioned depersonalization and derealization, and I looked into it, and it was exactly the things that I was experiencing, which basically is this feeling of dissociation from your surroundings or dissociation from your body. And everybody experiences dissociation on some level. There's a spectrum of dissociation, and for some people, they only experience dissociation when they're doing like mundane tasks that are kind of like something that they do over and over again, where you're kind of just like going through the motions and not really paying attention to what you're actually doing, what your body feels like, or you just feel kind of numb. And for me, it was that, but it was constant, and it was every day of my life. And sometimes it would get so bad that I would dissociate from my body and not be able to recognize myself in the mirror. When I looked into depersonalization and derealization, or DPDR for short, I found out that meditation was something that helped a lot of people out with these symptoms. So I really started meditating to be more present in my daily life and to be able to feel my feelings again, because within this period of my life where I was very disconnected from reality and from myself, I felt emotionally numb, and what it really was me suppressing my feelings all the time because I didn't know how to allow for them to come up. I thought that like my feelings were bad things that I should not feel, if that makes sense. When you try to suppress bad feelings, you are also suppressing feelings that feel good, and that's what ended up happening for me. I started meditating around the beginning of the pandemic, so March, April 2020. Now I'm here 2-ish years later, and I wanted to share with y'all what I learned. So the first thing is that being present has really been the key to my happiness, my inner peace, and self-acceptance. So through meditation, I've really learned how to be more present in my body, how to not run away from myself, and how to just allow for my feelings to come up, good or bad. It's really helped me to feel the depth of my emotions and not criticize myself for them or not judge myself for feeling a certain way. When you allow for these feelings that you label as bad feelings to come up, it's as if you're accepting yourself and accepting all aspects of yourself. And being present has also helped me with keeping my inner peace. A quote that I wanted to mention was from this book called Taking the Leap by Pema Chodron. And she says that the peace we are looking for is not peace that crumbles as soon as there is difficulty or chaos. Peace isn't an experience free of challenges, free of rough and smooth. It's an experience that's expansive enough to include all that arises without feeling threatened. So with being present and allowing for things to come up, everything that comes up for you within you, and not criticizing, blaming, shaming, or guilt tripping yourself for these things, that is a practice of peace. That is a practice of holding your inner peace. So with meditation, I've also started learning how to actually love myself. From my experience, I've always been like interested in self-help and self-improvement. Even while I was reading these like self-help books and watching all these videos on advice on how to love yourself better, even with all of that, I really did not understand. I didn't know what it felt like in my body to love myself until I started meditating and until I started to radically accept all aspects of myself. And for a long time, I thought that self-love was really just like pampering myself and taking care of my skin and taking care of my body. And I think part of it is that, but self-love doesn't always feel good, especially if you have been through traumatic experiences. For example, the first time I ever tried to set a boundary, like intentionally set a boundary with someone, I felt like I was having a panic attack. Even though I was doing this act of self-love, protecting myself, protecting my feelings, and setting my boundaries, it didn't feel good for me. And that is just part of it. That's part of self-love and keeping your peace. And the last thing that meditation has taught me is how to appreciate the small things in life. As I've become more present through this practice, I've also become more aware of my experiences and aware of my surroundings and the small details that I would have never noticed otherwise. It's also helped me with like remembering my experiences. I feel like when I'm going through the motions and just kind of, being robotic and doing things the way that I know how they're supposed to be done and like not really like being in the moment, I tend to forget my days. I think when you're not present in your life, the days blend and everything just kind of seems the same because you're not noticing. You're not noticing the small details, the small things that make each day different from the last. That's all I have to say today about meditation. I'll see y'all later.